Welcome back, word wizards. Today we're dissecting tricky English word pairs that sound like they might be twins but aren't even siblings in meaning. Illicit versus illicit, continual versus continuous, loath versus loathe, and others. Learn to tell them apart and to use them in sentences. All this and more coming up, but first, do subscribe to The English Nut on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Thanks. Let's kick off with council, council versus counsel, council. A council, spelled council, is an assembly, a group gathered to deliberate, like the Jedi Council minus the lightsabers. Here's how you could use it in sentences. The City Council voted in favor of the new public park initiative. After much debate, the Health Council issued guidelines for a balanced diet. Counsel, spelled counsel, on the other hand, is advice or legal guidance. Think of a counselor who helps you navigate the galaxy of life. In sentences, she sought the counsel of her mentor before making a career move. The defendant has the right to legal counsel during the trial. Next up, continuous versus continual. Continuous is non-stop, uninterrupted action like a marathon. Here are two examples of its usage. The continuous hum of the air conditioner was soothing to him. She was mesmerized by the continuous flow of the river. Meanwhile, continual is frequent repetition, like those sprints that start and stop. Here are two examples of its usage. The continual chime of the clock was driving him mad. Her continual requests for updates were becoming a bit annoying. On to incredible and incredulous. Incredible is something so extraordinary it's hard to believe, like a superhero feat. Example sentences for incredible. The acrobat's performance was absolutely incredible. The scientist made an incredible discovery that earned her a Nobel Prize. Incredulous describes a state of skepticism, like a detective who can't believe what he's hearing. Example sentences for incredulous. She gave him an incredulous look when he explained he'd forgotten the tickets. The jury was incredulous, finding the alibi hard to believe. Moving on. Successful versus successive. Successful, of course, refers to achieving desired aims or attaining prosperity. In sentences, the launch of the new product was highly successful. He had a successful career in the medical field. Successive, on the other hand, means following one after the other in order, like relay race runners passing the baton. In sentences, they won the championship for 5 successive years. The artist released 3 successive albums that topped the charts. Another confusing pair, complement complement versus complement compliment. A compliment with an I in the middle is a praise or a flattering remark. Example sentences for compliment. He received a compliment on his eloquent speech. Her boss paid her a compliment on her innovative marketing approach. Compliment with an E in the middle, however, is about an addition that improves something, like the perfect cheese to your wine. Here are a couple of sentences containing the word. This sauce is the perfect complement to the grilled steak. Their skills complement each other, making them a formidable team. Let's unravel a few more pairs of perplexing word pals. Let's look at illicit, which starts with E, and illicit, which starts with IL. To elicit is to draw out a response or reaction. It's all about evoking. Example sentences for illicit. The comedian hoped to elicit laughter from the audience with his new sketch. Her speech was powerful, designed to elicit a strong emotional response. Illicit is the naughty one. It refers to something that's not permitted by law or by the rules. Example sentences for illicit: the detective was investigating an illicit trade of ancient artifacts. He found himself inadvertently involved in an illicit scheme. Now let's differentiate loath without an E at the end from loath which has an E at the end. If you're loath to do something, you're reluctant or unwilling to do it. Think of it as being on the verge of saying, "Ugh, do I have to?" In a sentence, she was loath to admit it, but she had lost the bet and owed him dinner. Even though he was hungry, he was loath to eat the only food left. Bitter gourd. Meanwhile, loath with an E at the end means you've crossed that line. You're not just unwilling, you actively despise it. Example sentences for loath: he loathed doing the dishes, but he had to as the maid was on leave. She absolutely loathed the idea of spending her vacation at her cousin's farm instead of the beach. And finally, capital with A as the second last letter versus capital with O as the second last letter. Capital can wear many hats. It can be the city that functions as the seat of government, financial assets, or even the uppercase letters that start sentences. Here's how you can use the word. Mumbai is not just the financial capital of India, but also the heart of Bollywood. After years of hard work, she had amassed enough capital to start her own business. Capital with an O is specific. It's the building where lawmakers gather to debate and make laws. Here's the word in sentences. The tour of Washington, D.C. isn't complete without a visit to the Capitol building. The bill was fiercely debated in the Capitol before it was finally passed. And there you have it, folks. Clarity carved out of confusion. Remember, words that sound similar or alike can be meaning mischief makers. Until next time, remember that the devil is in the details. Do let me know your thoughts on these word pairs in the comments section. And thanks to my viewers Vijaya Nair and Madhubala who suggested these word pairs. I'm the English Nut. Bye for now.